Hi, this is Jim from Jim's Grand Adventure. Sorry it's been taking so long for me to get to this next video. I appreciate all the people who have stuck by and watched these with the holidays and so forth and other little things, but finally got this one up. It's all about inexpensive miniatures and cheap ways to make and purchase them. So I hope you enjoy it. There's also a little note here that not all of the pictures that I have, that I show in this video, are actually my pictures or my miniatures. Some I took off of the company's website. I'm recommending so and so forth. It's all pretty self-explanatory. Here you see two robots I made. I made these from sets of miniatures I had lying around that weren't being used. The base body is simply a 40K Necron soldier. I removed the heads and replaced them with the heads from some Tau infantry miniatures. I chose these because they have a very non-human looking helmet. I also left the extensions off the Necron guns, giving them a very different look. They were also painted in bright colors to make them look not as recognizable as Necron bodies. The next two figures were made by using the bodies from Wargames Factory shock troops. The company is now out of business. The arms are from Warhammer 40K Cadian troops. The heads are Warhammer Lizardmen heads. I thought these made nice looking reptile humanoid looking sci-fi characters. These were kitbashed over 30 years ago by using original Warhammer 40K Imperial Guardsmen miniatures. I then took the heads from Game Workshop Goblins and trimmed their noses down. This gave them a ferocious look. I used them for the old TSR Buck Rogers role-playing game as Terrines. They were the Martian shock troops in the game. This was a very easy conversion. I used Warhammer Night Goblins and gave them an assortment of weapons I had left over. These made nice, creepy, primitive-looking aliens for sci-fi games with little effort. I took some Star Wars HeroClix Mandalorian miniatures and swapped heads with some sci-fi toy soldiers I had purchased back in the 90s. The toy soldiers actually looked more like traditional Mandalorian helmets than the ones the figures had. This kit bash was more concept than actual physical change. These Skaven figures from Warhammer became my go-to bad guys in all my gaming worlds. In my worlds, these rat men have found their way across the galaxy and infest numerous worlds. They make their way by sneaking onto ships or just plain stealing them. They're fun because nobody likes rat men. In addition, it allows you to use one set of miniatures for many different games. Another simple kit bash done by using 40K Tyranids. I removed two arms and added simple wings made from cardboard. I hot glued the wings to the body and then put a large blob of glue on their heads. Once that cooled, I added two more smaller blobs of hot glue to the head for eyes. Then a simple paint job completed the process. These creatures have not been used in any game yet, and I am not sure what they even are yet, but I was very happy with the results. I needed some mutants for a game, so I used a variety of older miniatures. I also added extra arms to give them a more mutant-like look. I had made some squid-like aliens earlier. I combined them with some Games Workshop miniatures from the Battle of Macragge set to make a new alien race. These spore pods launch a fungus and floating spore creatures that, when in contact with other races, infect them, causing them to mutate into a squid-like hybrid creature. You may have seen them in my previous video about multi-purpose terrain. Toys and minis that are cheap. Sometimes you can find diamonds in the rough. This small ship and these robots and aliens were found at Walmart in the bargain toy area. The pack included robots, aliens, sharkmen, bird people, and cavemen that I used for hill giants. They can be used in all sorts of games with no limit but your imagination. These aliens were from the Heroescape game, as well as these robots. All are good size and fit into most games with little or no modifications. The Lizardmen are from HeroClix. I'm not even sure who they are or what they're supposed to be, but you can get these and others for usually under $1 each. 3D printed minis of your game characters. I designed these two characters for a science fiction game that I ran and then had them 3D printed by Hero Forge. The next two pictures are characters from another game that I had 3D printed as well. Hero Forge is an excellent place to have your main characters made for you as a one-of-a-kind miniature. Another thing you can do at Hero Forge is design your character and then buy the STL files. This way, if you have your own 3D printer, you can print them yourself or find someone that can print them for you at low cost. I was able to have a number of copies of this sci-fi lizard man, as well as my Space Amazons printed for a little over $1 each, giving me the option of making several squads of these at an affordable price. Companies that sell inexpensive miniature sets. A good source for Space Marine types is a company called EM4. They sell several sets of plastic fantasy and sci-fi miniatures extremely cheap, and a great source for the beginning gamer. Osprey Games has several sets of plastic miniatures from their Frostgrave and Stargrave lines. Both sets are plastic and have many other different options for poses and weapons. Wargames Atlantic has several sci-fi and fantasy sets as well as historical. These are also plastic miniatures that come with many options for poses as well as heads and weapons. Mantic Games has several lines of plastic miniatures as well. They have a really cool line of space zombie-like humans that I really like. In addition, I found this set as well as a few others for Lego-like toys on Amazon. There's a wide variety of accessories and weapons that could easily be converted for 28 or 32mm miniatures. Scratch builds and conversions. There are many YouTube channels and Facebook groups that show how to scratch build your own vehicles, etc. for your games. Here are a few that I have done, but the first is made from mainly plastic Easter eggs. The next one is a 1/35 scale German light tank model that cost under $20 I got off Amazon. I gave it a longer barrel and put a 28mm figure on top, thus giving it the appearance of a larger vehicle. This image shows a 1/35 scale figure next to it to show the actual size scale. These three hover tanks are actually party toys for children. The turrets were made by myself and recast so they would all fit together. This next vehicle was scratch built off of a small 1/72 scale tank chassis. It was greatly inspired by the Chariot from Lost in Space. Well, I hope you all found this little bit of information helpful. Maybe inspired you some new ideas and some resources that you may not have known about. Not sure what the next video is going to be about. I have a couple things I'm working on, so it'll be a surprise for both of us. Thanks again once for watching, and subscribe and like if you want to, and please share with your friends. Thank you.